Southern Packaging for all your packaging needs.
I was very fortunate growing up working for one of the best paper bag manufacturing companies in the United States. And Mr. Bancroft, the gentleman I worked for, uh, did a really good job of diversifying his product. Although he manufactured not only paper bags but dunnage bags, bulk bags, poly bags, coated papers, and so I got a really good education of a lot of different products. Well, in the late 90s, Mr. Bancroft decided to sell off those companies and go back to what his core product was, and that was a multi-wall paper bag. The problem I had developed a lot of customers through those years buying all those different products from me. So there was just an opportunity for me to start my own company at that period. Once Mr. Bancroft decided to change his direction. Uh, so that's when I started Southern back in 2002. It's been a great ride. One of the things that really happened that was kind of unexpected during NAFTA, a lot of the manufacturing went to Mexico, which, and from Mexico, it went from Mexico to China to India to Brazil to Turkey. It's floating everywhere. So customers wanted to share in those lower cost items, but number one, didn't know how to buy from those countries. And number two, didn't want to carry the type of inventory that it required to purchase from those companies. And if you can just see behind me here at Southern Packaging, one of our major strengths is not only do we develop the manufacturing partners that we have, but we also have the ability to warehouse the product for our customers. Customers do not like inventory. They like JIT deliveries, just in time deliveries. So that is one of our key strengths at Southern Packaging we can provide the same products manufactured domestically and imported, and we can lower the average cost to our customers. They don't want to go completely imported or completely domestic. So it just gives our customers a lot more options. It's Southern too. We're working for the customer. We're giving the customer what he needs and not necessarily working for a particular manufacturer that only makes a certain product. Well, money. Okay. Whenever you start a company, you got to have resources, capital. I had four little girls, had just left a salaried position with a company, a very stable job I had, but I saw the market shifting, and I knew if I didn't shift with it, ultimately my time was going to be limited. So, uh, it's always when you start a business, the most difficult thing is how do you get capital to start, and that was very difficult. Uh, I can tell you stories that, uh, you know, borrowing money off of credit cards and trying to buy product to sell it, dealing with companies that were putting me on 60, 90-day terms, because they could. But we overcame that. And, once these customers realized that we would show up and we would do what we said we were going to do, then, uh, I mean, Southern Packaging grew from 0 to over 50 million in sales pretty rapidly. So understand we're a company ran by sales guys too. So most companies are ran by accountants. Uh, but at Southern Packaging, the customers first. That's how sales guys think. So it's not necessarily, it doesn't always make sense on paper, some of the things that we do. But at the end of the day, if the customer's happy, then long term, Southern Packaging will be healthy.
Southern Packaging for all your packaging needs.
Yeah, I think one of the smartest things I did was step out and hire people a lot smarter than me. I mean, I could only do so much by myself. Once I got to about 2 or 3 million in sales, trying to do the loading the trucks and invoicing the customers, I realized, hey, I got to have some help. So I started hiring really smart. I didn't just hire people off the street. I went and hired Rick Tucker, one of my best competitors in the marketplace, and brought him in. And that was a big step because I had to pay him a lot of money and had to hire experienced warehouse guys and had to build buildings. I had to found a banker that believed in me and loaned me the money to build a building. I never will forget this, the building we're sitting in when we first opened the building. There, 40, 50,000 square feet. We were utilizing about 3,000 square feet of it. I thought, man, I really built a building too big, and it wasn't 3 years later, the building was full and we were under construction on another building this size. So, it's all about, I tell people all the time in business that, unless you have a rich grandmother or, you've inherited money, you better have a good banker. And through the years, I've been very fortunate in having really good bankers that believed in me, and we've always done the right thing. We pay them on time, and fast pay makes fast friends. So, that's kind of been the secret to our success. And again, we treat our customers right. We treat our vendors right. Our vendors are very important to us. We don't have the equipment that a manufacturer would have, so our vendors' equipment is very important to us. And so we understand that customers are important, but our vendors are equally important. Well, again, just when you're an entrepreneur, you're a competitor. I mean, most all entrepreneurs are competitors. Most of us are all crazy. We have a tremendous amount of gamble in us. And the biggest fear in any business is the risk of losing it all. That's it. I mean, I've laid in bed at night watching the ceiling fan go round and round, counting the number of times it goes around and round. And I tell that story to other entrepreneurs, and it's amazing how they say, "Hey, I've done the same thing." So, you know, it's uh, it's risk reward. That's what business is about. But it takes different types of people in this country to make things happen. It takes guys like me that have that high tolerance to risk. And then it takes guys that don't have that high tolerance to risk to work for guys like me. So it's a very good balance. Everybody in my company is equally as important as I am. The guy loading the trucks, the maid that cleans the offices, to our national sales guys, to my CEOs. We're all equal, and I try to treat them in that manner.
Southern Packaging for all your packaging needs.